Hi, it's Tech Thursday. I'm Cassie.
And I'm Nicole. I almost said I was Cassie. I don't know why.
I was at a thing last night and I introduced myself. I started to say someone else's name. It wasn't even anyone else in the room. It was just like,
Oh my god. Well, Cassie and I are just a little tired. It's been a week. It's been a couple of weeks probably, but we are excited to be drinking coffee and hanging out with all 5 people or 2 people or no people. I don't know. I can't read.
it says 0.
Oh,
I thought it said 2, but it's 0.
okay. Well, people are going to join us. So yeah, what's our topic today, Cass? I thought seemed interesting when I was.
I don't know if she has to look at it yet, but I'm gonna wing it.
No. Wasn't it about
Yeah,
about
so
security, right? Authentication situation?
Sort of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the way I guess I was thinking about it was, so the last time we did Tech Thursday, I was trying to do this last week and I couldn't get it to work on the PC. But I was thinking about, so the last time we did Tech Thursday, we talked a little bit about copycat stuff, but one thing that I didn't know you could do on Twitter, or see on Twitter, was a little blue thing for
verified.
celebrities
Yeah.
that says it's verified. So you prove to the robots that you're not a robot, or someone's spammy, or if it's not just me pretending to be Bob Saget on Twitter, that sort of thing. And Instagram doesn't have that yet.
I'm sure.
Which I think was, yeah, I'm sure it'll get there. But so
I always wondered how they verified it. How did they verify that I'm Kim Kardashian? Did you get a call from Twitter being like, hey, you're famous enough that people care about the blue check mark. Can you send us a selfie holding a piece of paper that says this on it to verify your identity? I don't know. How do they do it? Right? Do they send us a driver's license?
I guess okay, so I see what you're saying now. So the topic was kind of going to segue into the different ways that you can verify people, or the different ways that we, normal people, we plebes, prove that we're human. Because we aren't big deals enough yet to have the little blue thing.
It's true, but yeah, it's moving toward that. Yeah, this is a good topic because just this past week, so one of my clients let her domain name go, right? And this is from 5 years ago or something. I think we bought it for 5 years or something. And it was totally, so I had emailed her and said, hey, your domain name's expiring. Never heard it expired. So I'm like, hey, get it back. The problem is that the email address she used to buy it no longer exists. It's an old Fairpoint, it's like a internet, it says, yeah, a cable company supplied email address. And sometimes they'll do things like get rid of your address or you'll decide to change companies, right? So using those to set up accounts is kind of problematic. So what I had to do is I had to get her driver's license and send it. Well, not the physical driver's license, just a scan of it. Because what we had to do was prove that she, we couldn't log into her account, so we had to prove that she was her. And how do you prove that you're you? So you can send them a picture of your passport or a driver's license, and so they check the photo ID, and then they check your name and contact information against that, and then they will let you back into the account if you can't access the account. So I've only had to do this 3 times, in 6 years, so it's relatively rare, and I always have to look up how to do it. And the different registrars have different things, but you have to prove that you're you.
Right. Google Plus is another hard one.
Oh yeah?
Didn't we have issues verifying businesses?
Yes.
I don't remember what the issues were. I just remember it was a thing.
So I think what it is that there's some businesses that have a location that they don't want customers to necessarily go to. So in the case of this business, it was a production facility. So they don't necessarily want their customers to show up at their processing plant.
Right.
But they had to have a physical address, so they produce their product and they ship it out. But Google wanted a physical location to verify them. So it was hilarious because I just put in an inquiry within 5 minutes. Remember that phone call? I was like,
oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm just filling out this form. I'm sure it's going nowhere. And they called me back and the second I pressed submit, it was really fast, and they got it straightened out in a couple of minutes. And I think potentially they had moved or something. I don't know. There was an extra layer of complication there, besides the fact that it was an address that they couldn't get mail at because it was just their production facility. It wasn't like where they did their business. So, so yeah, good times. But yeah, I noticed online verification getting a little bit more sophisticated lately.
Did you see, so you may have noticed this, if you have a Gmail account, Google kind of switched the login. It's a very subtle difference, but now instead of getting the page that has like maybe your picture, if you have that on there, and then the little box that says enter your email and then enter your password, instead of having that, they split it out in two. So it'll say enter your email, and then once you do that, it takes you to another page that shows your picture. And then you enter your password. So it's a two-step. So people are speculating, because it's not super different yet, but they're speculating that it's getting us groomed for another change that they're gonna make later on. Like two-step authentication.
Right.
That seems to be like kind of
where things are moving. Yeah, so if something requires a password, I think what we've all discovered is that no matter how sophisticated we make our passwords, it's really difficult to have a system that just has one password that you access. So, Google Apps and other things like it allow you to turn on, I think Facebook too allows you to turn on two-factor authentication. And basically what that is you log in and then it will send, if you log in from, it'll remember your computer, you won't have to do this every time necessarily, but if you're logging in from a different computer than you normally do, it'll send a verification code to like your cell phone or something like that, and then you put that in. So it's almost like it's something theoretically gets sent to something only you have, not your email address, but like a cell phone is the default one that I can think of. There might be some other ones, and I just don't know what they are. But we have it turned on. I noticed that my email was behaving weird like about a year ago, and I was like, and then we all, like, we used to all move to two-factor authentication. And it's a bit of a pain in the butt because like once a month it's like, oh, the computer, like it resets every 30 days. So
yeah, and then when we switch computers, we're like, oh, I haven't logged into this one.
Yeah, but it'll remember it for 30 days on every device once you. So it's not like you're doing this on your regular computer every morning or something, but then it saves from people logging in from some weird place. So
yeah, speaking of logging in from workplaces, Facebook. The last time I had to change my Facebook password was because I was trying to log in from a hostel in Galway. Facebook like freaked. I was like,
you never go. You never go to Galway.
You have never been. You are across the ocean right now. This can't be right. You never travel. What's wrong with you? This isn't you. So I had to do like a bunch of weird, like answering all my security questions ever, going to my email. Like I had to do a lot. And I was like, oh my god, I haven't checked Facebook in like 2 weeks, and this is not worth the trouble.
Funny.
Yeah.
Well, and and you're thankful things like that are in place, like with your credit card company or something. Like I was in Las Vegas, like buying groceries, and my car got declined. And so I called, and then they're like, oh, you never go to Vegas, so
right.
We didn't know it was you. So now before I travel, I try to call ahead of time and be like, hey, I'm gone from this time to this time, so to see charges, like that's not weird, but it's nice that it's checking in on you, right? That's all you need is some jerk logging into your Facebook page and wreaking havoc in your wreaking, thank you, havoc in your life. But yeah. Well, the other fun thing I noticed on the website, I don't remember what website maybe you do, like you had to pick out like one of the, there's these different CAPTCHA things on forms, right? So I noticed, for example, Word, WordPress will, like if you're filling out a form, it'll have you type in characters, but the picking out food thing, where was that? So like I filled out this thing and then this screen popped up and it was like, pick out all the soups. Like, and it was pictures of different foods and I had to pick out, I don't know if you've seen it. I can't remember what website it's on, but it was like, enter this thing, the screen pops up and it was like, a picture of like 10 dishes and it's like, pick out the soup. And I was like, okay, well, I think this is soup and this is soup. There's one thing it was like, okay, well, maybe it's like kind of watery curry, like, I don't know. But I thought I was like, oh, this is like a more fun way than, type in this random bunch of characters that are difficult to read.
And like vaguely warped somehow.
Yeah. So I thought that was a more interesting way to do it. And has WordPress made you add numbers yet to log into some websites?
Add numbers?
Yeah, so for me, when I get to the admin screen of a couple of websites, and I can't remember which ones they are now because brain, coffee, but it's like put in the username and password to get on the website, and then on the bottom it's like, 4 + 3 equals, and and you type in the so it's interesting that social media sites and websites and stuff are kind of taking this "Are you a human?" a little bit even more seriously than they were like 2 months ago. Even I noticed some of the stuff has just sort of recently popped up, like you said, with the Google thing. I didn't notice the Google thing.
I read an article about it, and then
You're smart.
saw it
Yeah,
in action.
that's cool.
I think the article was like, is Google grooming us for two-factor authentication? Like for everyone, no choice.
Right. Well, like even think about like your bank stuff too. I mean, with me, if I log into my bank account, it wants to send a verification code. Even though I've logged in with the correct username and password, it wants to send a verification code to an email address or to our poor QuickBooks people. Like once every 2 months, are like, your bank locked us out again, so we're gonna send you a code. So.
Well, it's interesting, so it may seem annoying, I guess, that Google's making everyone do it, no choice, but if you think about, or like, if you're sharing a server with a bunch of other people, if like one person is negligent and gets hacked, then everyone else is suddenly at risk.
Right.
So you kind of have to make certain rules for everyone so that that one person, it just takes one.
Right. No, it's true.
Everyone's-
No, and that's a really good point. And people when we're like, hey, you gotta update your software, you can pay us to do it or you have to do it, like one or the other. We're not trying to be jerks. We're just trying to keep everyone's website on the server safe, because we might be we're on the server with you typically. Like if it's if it's a service that we use too, we're like, geez, our website's there as well. So if our website gets hacked because you're not updating your software, we're not gonna be happy. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Be a good neighbor.
Yeah, totally. But
I'm not asking you to keep your lawn at 1/4 inch.
And it's true, because I notice when websites aren't super secure now, in a way that I'm like, it's not asking me to do anything else. Okay, I'm in. I guess I expect it now, almost this extra level of having to enter a code or having to pick out soup. I can't remember what website that was on. I was like, I want to see how they did that. I mean, it's clearly something you can just add on as a verification thing, but yeah, the blue check mark. And Instagram doesn't have it, you said, because I guess if you take selfies of yourself a lot, then you could be like, oh yeah, either that or this person looks exactly like so and so.
Or you can rip them offline and
I think they should have this for real people though, and I'll tell you why. Did you hear about that girl who had her entire identity stolen with Instagram?
It's happened on Facebook. I know one of my college friends, it happened to her brother on Facebook.
Somebody just took all his pictures and set up a profile and and started friending his friends, or I mean, that's creepy, right? So
yeah, it's incredibly creepy.
Well, this girl did it for 3 years with this person on Instagram. She stole her whole, and she used the friends' names, and it was really elaborate, but also they were trying to track her down and they couldn't track down this other person. So this woman is just living her life, and somebody was like, somebody looks just like you on Instagram. She had hundreds of thousands of followers. She was a fashion blogger and whatever. And this woman, this sort of 25-year-old, woman who I think she was on Instagram. She only had 180 friends or something. And her names, or she didn't take her name. She just took everything kind of about her.
That's so weird.
She even made up other accounts. She made up an account for her mother, and so the mother would comment on stuff. Yeah, it was this, right? So I mean,
it's like a Lifetime movie waiting to happen.
Right, I'm sure Lifetime will be.
Lifetime, get in touch with me if you're watching this.
Quick, we have your star right here for your head writer.
Yeah, I have many other ideas for you.
I would watch Lifetime. I would watch that movie. But I think having authenticating who you are just as a regular person, I think would be really useful to prevent stuff like that from happening.
Yeah.
Did your friend have any issues with when he was applying for jobs and stuff?
This is my friend's older brother, so
yeah. No, I'd just be curious, kind of how that would impact.
I don't remember how it got resolved, but
Yeah. And then like, so what? So you tell Facebook, hey, this person copied me, and then Facebook looks at both your profiles, you look the same, so you're like, right?
yeah.
It would be hard to, unless of course Facebook set up something like, send in your driver's license
And birth certificate,
and birth
passport. And now we can steal your identity
And
too.
and your blood sample, and yeah.
And your mitochondrial DNA.
Well, if you're gonna go big in this one.
Yeah, just take it all.
Yeah, so, yeah, this is, it's, like, I think, like you said, the two-factor thing is gonna be really normal. I think a lot of people are scared of it. I know I was a little bit initially, because it seemed like a pain in the butt. And there are some things that are a little annoying with it, so I forget what I was trying to set up something, and the two-factor authentication was interfering with this something. I forget what it was, because I was like, why isn't this going here? And I was like, oh, that's the two-factor authentication thing. Oh, I think it was my meeting scheduling service thing. So I was trying to like make it so that there would be like an email address that they would be able to check that's associated with our, like meetings at breakingevening.com or something. It doesn't exist, so enjoy emailing that. But I wanted to set up something like that and just have these people be able to check it. But the two-factor authentication was like, well, what do I set it up with? Like, it's like a service, so it could be any number of people at that company that are checking that email. So it was a little bit, there was a couple of snafus where so the clients were emailing me like, hey, I emailed the thing and it never got there, so they weren't able to check it. They kept trying to check it, so I was like, oh, forget it. But yeah, because sometimes low tech, insecure is kind of convenient. But just because it's convenient does not mean you should do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you have anything else to?
I think that covers everything that I
All right, that covers everything I have to say too. So, a little bit short today, but I'm sure that's okay.
If you have any other questions or topic ideas for us, you can comment on this video or email us. What do we usually say?
Contact form.
Contact form, breakingevening.com/contact.
Yep. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Woohoo!
I appreciate how fast we're moving today.
This is warp speed.